Hey guys, how you doing? It's Kevtech here, bringing you another video on information technology. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Sunday. And today I'm going to go over Office 365 groups. If you guys haven't watched my previous video, go watch the previous video. Today I'm going to go over groups. So let me share my screen with you and show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Screen 3. So today we're going to go over groups, how it's used in a job environment and why we use it in a job environment. And I have a PowerPoint slide right over here. Obviously, we're going to go over Office 365 Exchange groups. I'm not going to go over every single detail here on each tab today because it's too much information. So today we're just going to go over groups. Okay. So there are different types of groups. So if I go here to the tab right here, you could see there's distribution group, there's mail enable security group, there's a dynamic distribution group, and then there's this one that's called new Microsoft 365 group. And I have slides here, so I'm going to go over every single one of them and explain to you what they do and how they're used in a job environment. So Microsoft Office 365 groups is a service that works with Microsoft Office 365 tools. You already use it so you can collaborate with your teammates, writing documents, creating spreadsheets, working on a project plan, scheduling meetings, or sending an email. You don't have to worry about manually assigning permissions to all those resources because adding members to the group automatically gives them the permissions that they need and the tools they need. Additionally, groups are the new and improved experience of what you'll be using in a distribution list or share mailbox. So this is like a combination of mailboxes and a combination of a distribution group. So groups and Outlook, what kind of groups should you create? So it depends on the environment. Obviously, it really depends where you work. Well, considering the options, it's important to remember that one size rarely fits all is exactly true. Different teams may prefer to work with different ways of Microsoft 365 tools to enable collaboration. So you may want to have a Microsoft 365 group. You may want to have a Microsoft Teams collaboration environment. You may just want to have a group for Yammer. It depends on the environment, right? It depends. You may just want a distribution group and that's it, which is the regular group, right? A primary purpose of a security group is to assign permission to Active Directory resources to a group of users instead of assigning permissions to individual users at a time. A mail-enabled security group can be used to distribute messages to group members as well as to grant access to permissions to resources. Mail-enabled security groups have most of the features and properties that distribution groups do, such as the ability to configure membership, approval, delivery management, mail tip, and group delegation settings. Groups in Outlook. If your user address email, your users address email to multiple people, why not create a group in Outlook instead of the DL? Groups in Outlook offer you everything to DL. So this is, let me stop sharing for a second. So people are like, what the hell is a distribution group? Why is it? I don't understand. What is it? So to make it in simple terms, think about it in your head. Distribution. So you're distributing emails in a group. So basically you have, instead of emailing 100 people, right? Why not just put everyone in one group? So then when you email them, it goes to everyone in that group that's part of that group. So that's basically what a distribution group is in a non-technical way. So when you go to a job interview, you could say that. So basically you're distributing an email to a group and it goes to that group and whoever's part of that group gets the email. Everyone that's in that group gets the email because we're not going to email 100 people, 400 people, 500 people. That is just like too much work. You imagine me creating an email thread and I type each individual name of each person. Why not just put them all in a group? If they're, for example, like a real example, what if they're HR, right? And HR has 100 people. Why not just create an HR distribution group and have them, just email them that way? It doesn't make any sense. Why would I email a bunch of people? Like when you have a group you could create, your company may ask you to do that too. The company you work for may ask, I need you to add Sally, Joe, Jose, whatever, to this distribution group. So they all get the same email at the same time. Because a lot of people know, like some people that work in finance or whatever thing they do in the company, right? Some of them know what a distribution group is. Some of them don't know what it is, but some people know what it is. So when you go to a job, you actually understand what they're talking about. Oh, okay. So they want me to add Sally to that group. Okay, that makes sense. I'll do it right now real quick. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Let me share again. So now we went over that. Today, I'm just going to open up a group and show you how it works and how it's used. So the distribution group is to distribute emails to a bunch of people that are part of that group. Don't confuse that with security groups. A lot of people confuse that with security groups. So when you think about security groups, I'm going to open up Active Directory, which is open right here. And you go into users, right? You have something called security groups. So when you have a security group, right? I'm going to expand this. When you have a security group, don't confuse it with security group. Look, you see, these are just different types of security groups. They're designed to create permissions in security. A distribution group and a security group are two different things. So don't confuse it, okay? Because a lot of people confuse it sometimes. So when you go here and you go into group, you'll be asked to do this. You'll be asked whether it's global, universal, you'll be asked to create a distribution group, right? You put it in here and you hit OK, and then you add a bunch of people to it. So for example, let's just say for hypothetical example, right? I go in here and let's call it tech support, right? And then we add a bunch of people to it. And it's a distribution group, right? You hit OK. So when you click on it, look, it's not the same thing. It says distribution group. It's different. You go here, you have your members, you add your members, you have member of, so you could add them to other parts, and you have managed by. So sometimes in a job environment, the manager will be right here, and the manager can update the group to whatever they want. So if you add a manager here, right? Manager can update membership list. You hit OK, you hit apply, and they have the ability to update the distribution group. So sometimes, depending where you work, it might be done in here, or it might be done in here in your job environment. So like I said, let's go over a group. I created one called Service Desk, right? Let's look at it. So we have something called ownership. We have display name, aliases. Remember I explained what alias is? And you have the drop down here. So sometimes you may have a job environment that they have multiple domain addresses or multiple email addresses that they use, right? And the ownership right here. Who's the owner of that distribution group? So sometimes I have to go over this. Is really important. Sometimes you ask yourself, who created the group, and who should I talk to get approval to add someone to a group? So you want to look at the owners. The owner of the group is gonna be the one that approves the distribution group, right? Sometimes there may not be anyone in here, so you may have to go talk to your manager. You may have some sort of approval process in your company. It really depends where you work. So just keep this in mind, okay? You have members. Obviously, you have members you add over here. Then you have membership approval. See where it says close? Say it says here open. I'm going to expand it because you probably can't see my whole screen. There we go. Anyone that could join this group without being approved by group members. Close. Members can be added only by group owners. Or requests to join will be rejected automatically. So owner approval. All requests are approved and rejected by the group owner. So it's basically this person right over here. Choose whether the group is open to leave. Open. Anyone can leave this group without being approved by the group owners. Close. Members could be removed by the group owners or request to leave and rejected automatically. You have deliver messages right here. Only senders inside my organization. So this is very important right over here. So sometimes we have to go here and allow it. So what does this mean? So this is the email address, right? So it's service desk support at kevtechitsupport.com, right? It's close, and it says senders inside and outside my organization. So that means anyone that's using like an external email, right? Like Gmail, MSN, Hotmail, whatever email they're using, they cannot email this group. You'll get a bounce back actually, because this is not checkmark right over here. So basically it says only senders inside my organization can email that group. So what is a bounce back? What does that even mean, Kevin? You're not making any sense. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So before I show you what I'm talking about, let's look at this. So messages sent to this group have to be approved by the moderator, right? So you have this option as well. You have a few different options actually. So it's really important. So you have moderator approval. You have email options, right? So you have this ability right here to actually update the email just like before. So I went over mailboxes. The same thing. You could update the email and make a primary email address. Make that the reply email address. Then you have mail tip, right? Then you have group delegation. So people can send on behalf of that group, of this group service desk, the service desk email. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to show you what happens. So I'm going to open up a new tab. Give me a second. Just bear with me. And I am going to I am going to open up a new email, see if it lets me expand it, right? And open up right here. So the email address, what's the email? Service desk support@kevtech.com, right? So we're going to go here. We're going to type service desk support@kevtech.com. That came up right away. I'm going to do tests and I'm going to send an email and just give it a second. Give it a second to see if it works. I'm using my Gmail account right now. Give it a second. So this is what it is. Look at this. So you get this weird error message. So this is what happened. This is a real life scenario, by the way. I'm recreating a real life scenario. So this is a message you'll get right here because it's not allowing you didn't allow it to accept emails from outside the organization, which is this option right over here. Look at this. Show you. So here it has to be check marked and you have to hit save and allow it. Otherwise, you'll get a bounce back. What is a bounce back? This is the bounce back right here. Look, this group service desk only accepts messages from people in its organization or on its allow senders list. Your email address isn't on that list. Service desk action requires sender not allow. You get all these weird error messages, right? It appears you aren't in the same organization as the group or subgroup. You're sending to your email address that isn't in the group's allow center. Ask the owner of the group to grant you permission to send and then try again later. So you get all these weird error, SMT, blah, 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 blah. You get this weird error message, right? So what the hell is that? What is this? Why are you getting this? It's because you didn't allow it. So you have to go here, right? You have to actually allow it. And when you allow it, you're not gonna get that weird error message anymore. It should work. So when you do that, it should work. So while we wait for that to replicate, I'm gonna actually show you how to actually open the service desk email on your behalf. So if you go into webmail, because I added myself as a delegate, right? So if you go here, you see Kevin has access to do it. Kevin has access to send. How do you do send on behalf? It's the same thing as the other one. So if you go into office.com and if you go into Outlook, right? If you go to new message and if you go here and you type service desk, should let you do it. Give me a second. Be a little slow. So you have insert, switch to plain text, show message options, normal. So you have the to sign. You should be able to send on behalf. You probably can't do it here. Let me go into my other Outlook. So I'm gonna go into Outlook, the app itself, and show you because it's much easier that way for me. Give it a second. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go into new. I'm gonna drag that over here, right? And see there's a to and CC sign right here. You go into insert, there's options here, right? You go into the from sign right here, see? And you hit the little drop down, you hit other email address, and you hit from. Just give it a second, it's gonna be a little slow. Click on service desk, you hit OK. So now you're sending on behalf of service desk support at kevtechitsupport.com, and you could just email yourself. You could email yourself. You could email whoever you want. I'm gonna put to my name, my own name, right? So I'm gonna do check for names, and we're gonna do test, and we're just gonna send an email to ourselves, right? Just give it a second. It's right there. See, and it's sent to service desk, sent from service desk, right? So now I'm going to show you the same thing, right? The same thing. I'm going to do it on the Gmail account because I just remember I approved it, right? I approved it. I actually allowed it. So let's try a test email again. So I'm going to send, and let's see if I get another. Let's see if I get another bounce back. I shouldn't. We'll see if we get another bounce back. Just give it a second. It might take time to replicate, but you should be able to send emails from your Gmail account now because you just put it on the allow list. So there it is. Look at that. My Gmail account worked. Look. So it actually worked. So now actually it worked. So that's basically the little weird error messages you get sometimes because you got to put it on the allow list. If you don't put it on the allow list or you don't allow senders from outside the organization to send to that group, then it's not gonna work. So that's basically what I did here. So I actually allow senders inside and outside my organization, and actually that worked. So you saw I got the email from my Gmail account. So obviously it worked. So those are things that you'll be asked to do in a job environment. That's why I have to go over groups, because people assume that it's really complicated when it's not. It's not rocket science. So it might be hard for you because everyone's learning. Everyone has their own way of learning. But basically, you just go here, you create a brand new group, right? And then you add the members in here, and then sometimes you have to you get asked, right? You get asked to, oh, can you please allow that group to get emails from external email accounts from people outside my organization? Because sometimes we tend to leave this on by default, and some companies leave it on by default. Some companies they don't do that. So it depends what company you work for. So just keep that in mind. You may need approval for this too, actually. So just keep that in mind as well. So that is pretty much it for groups. You could send on behalf. You could do send on behalf access. You could create a group, and a group basically allows you to get emails, right? And anyone that's part of this email distribution group, they all get the same email. Makes life so much easier for us as IT help desk people or IT support people or people that do sysadmin or whatever, right? So that's pretty much it for today. Nothing complicated. Easy to understand. Try not to complicate my videos. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you, Buy Me Coffee guys, for supporting my channel. Thank you guys for watching my video, and thank you YouTube members, and thank you guys from Discord community, and thank you everyone else for helping me and supporting me with my channel. Hope you guys have a good day, and I hope this was useful. Okay, take care. Peace.